Hey Honda, what are you drinking?
I'm so glad you asked. I'm drinking Ray's Energy.
What is that?
How would you try some?
Let me see. Damn, that's good. Why is it so good?
Well, let me tell you. It has zero sugar and zero carbohydrates, and it's packed with electrolytes and caffeine.
Whoa.
And plus, get this, zero dyes. That means none of that red 40.
That sounds so healthy. Where can I get more?
You can get some more at repsports.com. And if you use code HondoBlue, you get 15% off any purchase on Rep Sports. And, of course, Rays. So, buy yourself some Rays. And, back to the show.
I don't think they running at my pace. Jordan 1s, gotta keep them laced. If she bad, I might have to get a taste. Whip go vroom, I'll set them on a chase. I don't think they running at my pace. Jordan 1s, gotta keep them.
How can we start this?
I don't know.
Okay.
Just pretend I'm Damian Robles.
No.
And I'm talking about my love for photography.
Yeah. 174 views? 201? I didn't even notice that. I haven't checked on it in a little bit.
That's how you start off there, looking at the back end.
That's how we start off. That's how we start this off.
Damn.
Well, welcome back to Keeping It OneJando. We today little different, place.
We're all professional now.
We're all professional now. Yeah,
It's just City Hall.
it's just City Hall.
It's just City Hall.
Yeah, spoiler alert. It's just City Hall. We probably have our biggest guest that we've ever had.
Mm-hmm. We're here with the king of Douglas.
We have Mr. Jose Grijalva right here.
Yes, sir. Oh, you want me to wave? I usually don't do the China Poblana thing.
Just waving.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you, man. We've been trying to like do this podcast for like almost 2 weeks or something. Yeah, but we're finally doing it, and I'm really excited, man.
Oh yeah, I had a friend of mine. He follows your podcast, and he was telling me, got to get a hold of these guys so I can at least update the youth of Douglas. Because a lot of the times we just go through Facebook or council meetings. People don't see those council meetings. Yeah. Sometimes, they just go on way too long, especially if you're sitting there like me and you're making those decisions. Yeah. So, it's nice to really have a conversation about it instead of being too formal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. That we're like, yeah, it's really awesome, dude. Because I was looking through and you mentioned that you're the youngest. Or you were, or like you are the youngest councilman?
Still am. Yeah. When I came in 2018, I was 30 years old. Youngest councilman ever in Douglas.
Hey, do you want to explain who you are to people who don't know exactly who you are?
Well, my name's Jose Grijalva, obviously. Born and raised in Douglas, 37 years. Mm-hmm. Graduated class of 05 from DHS.
That's the year I was born.
Let's cut it. We're done. I also, when we had a youth basketball league in Douglas, I coached there too, helped out, for the only coach to win 3 championships in a row. Hey. And then I also did a podcast called the Spurs Cast for the San Antonio Spurs. We had a blog. So we would record it. That was, I think I started in 2013, around there. Mm-hmm. And they even sent me to Summer League to interview the players and all that one year. And then I decided to run for council. Because I was one of those people that, complain. And somebody told me, why don't you do something about it? Why don't you run? And the good thing about me running was I followed politics at the time when I was old enough to register to vote. So from 2000, from 2005, but then my first election was 2008. So that's when I really started getting into politics. So it was kind of natural for me. Mm-hmm. So doing podcast and then coaching and then this, it's kind of like evolving because it sort of prepped me for my next, if you want to call it my next move.
Yeah.
But no, I represent Ward 6, which is like 18th Street North. But I'd like to just say that, I walk to the gym every weekday, right? So I'm always in different parts of town. I just don't like to stick to my word. Wherever I can help out, I help out. So, sometimes my colleagues don't like that because I meddle in, with their constituents. Yeah. But I get paid with everybody's tax money, so that's why I do that.
I wanted to ask you this question. Would you, in our like city of Douglas, would you consider yourself like a controversial figure?
Oh, you saw my Facebook post.
Yeah.
Controversial. I think City Hall would say I'm controversial.
Mm-hmm.
I like to be more transparent, because not a lot of people know what's happening or why we make decisions, why we do this and that. So when I don't feel like they're transparent enough, I'll go on Facebook and I'll call them out.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe controversial. I guess that I wouldn't mind that label, but just more. I like to just say I'm more transparent.
More transparent. Uh-huh. Yeah. So, because I have like a bunch of questions I had like ready and everything.
You have to write them down.
I know it's a lot. So like, probably one of my first questions I have is, why do you think it's important for young people, like just like young people in general, to like vote, like for like elections, for local elections, for state elections, and like federal elections and all that?
There's people say that's a corny saying, like politics starts local, but it is true because with Douglas being in office and then going to state conferences and meeting Congress in Washington D.C.,
Mm-hmm.
they pay attention to what's happening here. And
Mm-hmm.
you ask them, why is your population going down? Why
Yeah.
don't you have another grocery store? Why don't you have more jobs? It all starts here.
Mm-hmm.
It starts with our amenities. It starts with our taxes. It starts with housing. How much of this all that we have. So it's very important, especially when I would tell the kids the younger kids they would ask me the same thing, and I'll tell them, because politics is involved in everything that you do. There's people who say, well, I just want to work and go home and not worry about all that stuff and pay my bills. But guess what? Your water bill has to do with politics, because we vote to either lower it or higher it. As council hired it a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the city sales tax, where I think total at 9.9%, one of the highest ones in the state of Arizona. That starts with local politics. Why is everything more expensive? So I would say that it's very important if you want to make a difference, because at the same time, we're losing the young people. They're going off to Phoenix, Tucson, somewhere else to build a career and a better way of life in their mind. So if we want to keep you here, we need to know what your interests are. Mm-hmm. What can we do to keep you here?
Yeah, exactly. Because I had a very similar question to that, because it's more of like it's not a question, it's more of a statement. It's like, in my age group, in like our age group and everything, we have a lot of people say that you have to leave Douglas to, like, if you want to make a career, make a living,
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
Yeah, we've gotten that a lot, and even like us too. Like, even like as soon as because we're at coaches right now, and as soon as we're like done with coaches, we want to go to like U of A or somewhere else. That's like, and the thing is, like, like there's just like, that's what like a lot of people say,
because there's more things to do over there. If you go to U of A, if you go to ASU, or even a community college over there,
mm-hmm.
you can go and you can live at in an apartment with some friends. Right across the street, there could be a Wendy's, a Whataburger, In-N-Out, whatever it might be. And here, I mean, we have Fifth Street, right? If you're hungry, there's Fifth Street, or we have Mexican food. And I don't complain about Mexican food, because you can tell I love Mexican food. But you want variety. You want those big chains to come down here. We're one of the easiest places to start up a business, but the majority of the people here know how to make, if you're going to open up a business, it's usually a Mexican food business.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's a good question. What can we do to really incentivize you guys to stay here?
So like, we can like still have like a great career, just like staying here, because that's what a lot of people like say too. They're like, a lot of like, us, like we'll just say, oh, we want to go over there because there's more places to hang out. Mm-hmm. But then like, a lot of like our parents will say, like, you have to go because there's a lot more like jobs, or a lot more like possibilities for like a very good like future, instead of like just staying here in Douglas.
When I go to conferences and I'll talk to businesses, like not restaurants, but like businesses that want to come, like warehouses and all this, they'll ask me the same two questions. What kind of schools do you have? That's really out of our jurisdiction because that's the school board, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what's there to do for my kids?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I keep trying to push to City Hall. You know, we need more amenities. We need a rec center. We need somewhere where everybody can have some place to go. I mean, if you want to play a sport or you want to have a concert or you have to go to the school gyms, right? And then you have to ask them for permission and they'll probably charge you rent. And then you need insurance, which is going to be like $1,000 or so. And then what do you say? Well, I don't want to do it anymore. I mean, it's too expensive. Let's just go somewhere else where it's already there.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I completely understand that. That's why personally I've been pushing for a rec center.
Mm-hmm.
The ACT building, the lease is up next month. I told them when we found out last year that they weren't going to renew, I told them we need to either find somebody to go in there or make that into a rec center. It's big enough to play sports. It's big enough to have, if we want to have classrooms there. But even if we have classrooms for the colleges and all that, like you're saying, you're still in Douglas, right? What is there to do here?
Yeah.
The Food City building, we haven't had somebody to come in there. That could also be used as an event hall.
Mm-hmm.
I was told a few weeks ago by a mutual friend that of the person who owns the old cinema building, they tried to donate it to the city years ago. City said no. I mean, that could have been an event hall, right? You want to have a concert. I mean, the city shouldn't be charging the residents that they're paying for that building, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we should have somewhere. If you all want to have a concert, you all have a band, go, and invite your friends, invite your family. It gives us something to do too.
Mm-hmm.
So no, that's been in the back of my mind because each time there's a graduating class, the parents tell me the same thing. I'm sad that my kid says I'm gonna go especially out of state, and I don't know when I'm gonna come back.
Mm-hmm.
And the parent does not want to hear those words, but they completely understand because their representation isn't bringing more, over here to have you all stay.
Yeah. No, yeah. It's just there's not much to do here.
My mom wants me to stay in Douglas.
Yeah, my mom wants me to stay too, but I'm just like I love Douglas, but it's just there's
a lot less opportunity.
Yeah, it's just the hard truth, And it's sad to say that because I love Douglas. Grown up here all my life, but it's sad that we want to get out of here.
And in your mind, it's easier for you to go and live in Tucson or Phoenix and come down to Douglas every now and then, instead of saving money and then going to Tucson and Phoenix for maybe like a day or 2 days or 3 days and then come back.
Yeah.
So we need to keep you all here.
That's like my plan. I plan on coming back to Douglas a bunch of times.
Yeah. It's a lot, and then a lot of the things too that I've heard, just like I do notice sometimes that the older generation, like here in Douglas, they're like set in their ways. They're like they don't like it whenever they're proposed to change, And like for example, I heard that they were doing like a downtown remodel thing to make it feel more like Bisbee or something like that.
They're calling it the downtown revitalization.
Yeah.
So they want to basically, and they say it's not modernizing it, but they want to, like put a tent up there and stuff to, so it could look nice. There's a lot of people that have a problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I'm not for it for the main reason of they want to put $1 million per block. Does Douglas have $1 million to do that? And what one of the things I told them was, if our taxes are high and people aren't shopping here and the businesses are struggling, it doesn't matter how pretty you make it look outside. You could have parties and all that every week, but are people going to be going into those businesses and supporting them? Otherwise, it's just going to be a block that you're just going to use out there just for it to look nice. We need to incentivize people, to come down here. Bisbee, I mean, if you notice, Bisbee doesn't spend that much money on what they look. It's the vibe, it's the economy there, it's the culture there. It's sort of like I hope I don't get too. I hope I don't get canceled, but it's like that hippie culture, right?
Yeah.
People like that hippie culture.
Yeah.
But to revitalize G Avenue and revitalize Douglas, I want to ask you all this because this is a question I've asked City Hall. What identity do we have?
Really? Like the only identity that we really have is the Bulldogs. It's like the high school, really.
Yeah, that's like our main thing.
That's our main thing, yeah. And
But there's no, like, Bisbee's hippie.
Mhm.
You know,
There's no
otherwise
way, like-
have, you know, some sort of culture that they have, you know, like New Mexico. It's sort of like, you know, I haven't gone there, but it's like Silver, was it Silver City? Or I forgot where it was that Villarreal, maybe you could interview him one time. He's from New Mexico.
Yeah.
He's from Douglas, moved to New Mexico and came back. He's a Dina Cochise. He'll tell me, you know, we have festivals over there. We have all that. We don't have that stuff here.
Yeah.
You know, so in my mind, I think we need to build up an identity. Not trying to be a little bit of Tucson, a little bit of Phoenix, a little bit of Mexico, a little bit of us. Yeah, we need our own identity for them to say, we can't get this anywhere else. We have to go to Douglas.
Yeah.
That's how you'll get people to come down here.
Mhm.
Because if we're trying to be like AP, well, guess what? AP's a few minutes over there. You'd rather go over there because it's cheaper. There's no sales tax. You don't have, you know, there's no regulations or anything over there. If you want to go to Tucson, well, might as well just be, if you want to be Tucson, might as well just go to Tucson. Might as well just go to Bisbee.
Mhm.
So Douglas needs to build up its own identity here. One of the things we do have is our veterans. We're a Purple Heart City. I was talking to the American Legion. Why don't we, you know, we had that banner program. I don't know if you saw the post, but I mean, that was something the community was really excited about. We have the Wall of Faces. You know, maybe we could build that into a tourism spot that people from out here, you know, out of state want to come here and just spend maybe a day or two here. But for me, that's my biggest thing, because I mean, $1 million per block. Do we even have $1 million to go per block? And if we do, then why aren't we fixing the roads and the sidewalks?
Yeah.
You know, because that's a big complaint. And there's people who have fallen down, gotten injured out here at G Avenue in multiple places. So I guess it just depends what politician you're talking to, because some of the council's for it, and I mean that, you know, if they're for it, I mean that's, you know, that's their perspective. But when I walk around G Avenue, the businesses tell me the same thing. You could spend $1 million on every block, but are we going to get business? Or are we going to get business?
Is it going to be like worth it, like in the long run or something like that?
I mean, just me? No, I don't think so. I think we need a rec center. I think we need, you know, we need amenities where people are going to say, hey, if for the port of entry, I mean, you've all heard about the port of entry, right?
Yeah, isn't it again like a big, like, yeah.
It's a big deal. For me, it's not the end all be all, because it's just where the big trucks are going to go, right?
Yeah.
So there's going to be jobs that are going to be created. They're going to have to build it. I think it's like they're going to start next year or so, all the way to 2028. So it's going to be like 5 years.
Wow.
But, you know, those are high paying government jobs, right?
Yeah.
So we want them here. We want those people to spend money here, except where are they going to stay? Where are they going to spend their money? You know, one of the complaints when the wall was being built was, you know, you have businesses, but we work from 9 to 5. Those businesses are open from 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So we need to get together with the businesses and say, hey, we know potential customers that want to come and live here and shop at your store, but, you know, you're open when they're not available. So we need to be reaching out to them so we can, you know, give them the statistics and information to help them. I think that's how you revive Douglas. You know, you just don't spend money and say, hopefully somebody comes out here.
Yeah.
I
wanted to ask you, what was your? Oh, I didn't even notice that was. You want to be in charge of that in case? I wanted to ask you something. It's kind of like a similar thing, and it kind of like affected us. It was when we were freshmen. We had at the high school when we were freshmen, we had that new Bulldogs logo.
I remember that.
Yeah, we had that new Bulldogs logo, and then Coach Long, he gave like the entire team like, you know, shirts and shorts and like, you know, stuff with the new logo on it. And then it was like a month or like a couple weeks later, like I think it was the school board or someone or somehow they're like, no, we don't want that new logo anymore. We want the old one. And that was like a big thing, because it was like, really, like I like the old logo, but you gotta like change, you know? It's like, you know, what do you think about that?
I don't know. I mean, I kind of wish it never changed in the first place.
Yeah, like I wish it looked the same, because the new logo that was gonna be, it looked awesome, you know? It was still the Bulldog, but
It looked a lot cooler.
yeah, and it looked a lot more like in today's world, like it could like, you know. And I just want to ask you, like, what did you think about that? Whenever they wanted to change the logo and then it just went back, because I personally, I hated it.
They teased us.
Yeah, they teased us.
Well, I heard one of the reasons was that they wanted all the sports to have the same logo, because I think there's a different Bulldog logo per sport, right? I'm not too sure about that.
I thought it was gonna be like
A bit before, like the ones they have before. I think like swimming has one. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
I'm good with change. You know, one of my philosophies, just being in office, is I like to take my opinions and my perspectives out of the equation.
Mhm.
You know, if I'm talking to you and you're my constituents and you want this to happen, it doesn't matter what I think. If the majority of the people want something, it doesn't matter what I think. We need to either meet halfway, or, you all pay my salary. So why am I, I'm supposed to be representing you. And, maybe that should have been brought up to the school board by the students. We like the logo. Why are you changing it? It's something that we're going to be wearing. It's something that's going to be representing us. So sometimes, like how you were saying, there's, people who live in a bubble. I think, and I think that's the same thing with maybe the district and maybe with City Hall. They all think we know what's best for you, but sometimes you know what's best for you.
Yeah.
And it's something simple like a logo, like the Douglas logo.
Because it was it's such a big thing, because for our town, we live in a small town, so for us, our high school is really like such a big thing and part of our lives. That's gonna be part of our lives for like ever. So that's why it was it's such a big deal if like the logo changes. And I heard that a lot of people, like, they were loving the new logo. It almost felt like they were just like, nah, just get out of here. It was almost like, we know you like it, but we don't like it. So
that's tough.
Yeah, basically like that.
Maybe put Facebook posts up like I do and see. People read them. So as long as you make your voice heard, and the one thing with politicians, whether it's city or school board, is they always remember they're only there for 4 years, and then they have to re-up, right? So that's where you put the pressure on them. If they're not listening to you, then you get someone who will listen to you in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you have a question?
You see the
You want to ask a question?
I'm not prepared for this. Let me see. Oh, actually, I kind of thought of like a weird topic, like on the subject of the high school.
Oh, what?
I thought about the backpacks, the clear backpacks.
Oh, the clear backpack.
Clear backpacks. Yeah. Our freshman year, they like made it a rule that we're not allowed to have like backpacks that like they only have to be clear, like see through, like no color or nothing, because I don't know why. I never really got it.
You never got it?
Well, I knew why. I don't know why it's still like that. Basically.
Well, because of the shootings, right, and all that.
Yeah.
I know we had a call in. I think at one of the schools, was it the high school, that somebody. But Douglas is such a small town. That's where I think it's our responsibility to get to know everybody. We're a town of 16,000, or I think now we're less than that, 15,000. There's more people that go to concerts and events and all this than live in Douglas, So we should be able to know everybody. If somebody's going through a problem or somebody's upset, and you know about it, speak up. Don't let it get to a point where they're going to school and trying to take revenge on somebody. So for me, I don't like clear backpacks. I know they put an announcement, if you go to the graduation, it has to be a clear purse, clear, whatever.
Yeah, my mom really hated that.
It's you basically have to buy something new just to go, someplace.
Just for like a one-time thing.
And maybe I get in trouble, but then I know that they were selling these clear backpacks, so it might be also like, hey, let's make a little bit of profit somewhere. If we don't let them come in with what they have to buy something, maybe something from us
that we sell. Or something. Yeah.
So I'm not in favor of them. They just look bad.
Yeah, they just look bad, because I did hear that they installed new, like, what's it called, metal detectors at the high school now.
Oh yeah, I heard about that too.
Yeah, so maybe that could be like a really big change and something, But back to that thing of people wanting to leave Douglas, like, the city officials plan on changing that mindset that you have to leave Douglas to like become someone?
I don't think they have that. You're talking about the city of Douglas for them to basically like you guys go out there and then come back when you're. No, I've talked to them plenty of times, and let's talk about the port just for a little bit. They think once the port comes, we're gonna double in population. Everybody's gonna live here. We're gonna have more restaurants, more money, because the magic number to get like the big restaurant chains and the stores is like 20,000. So we need around 4,000 to 5,000, right? But in their mind, it's Douglas. It's quiet. They love Douglas, so that means everybody else will love Douglas. People from out of town and that have never been here don't know how our city is. I mean, we're close knit. I mean, there's very good. We talk about the negative as in economically, but culturally, it's a very good city. When somebody's going through some type of troubles, what do? They have a carne asada, they have a barbacoa, they have some type of fundraiser because we're all very close knit. But people from the outside don't see that yet until they come in and they live for a short while and then they love it here. That's why we need to incentivize them. If we can have something for their families, then we can grow in population. Then we can get the bigger the jobs and the amenities here. But we need to be catering right now to them, sort of incentivizing them to come here. Because if I have a business and I told you both, I want to set up in Douglas, but tell me what there is for me to do over there. You're not going to have an answer to that. Yeah. But if you say, hey, we have a golf course, we have a rec center, when we have activities every now and then from the city for little kids and for teenagers, we need more activities for teenagers. We need more activities for adults. I mean, last year we had a men's basketball league. The first game where everybody played it, the Huber Middle School filled up with families wanting to see their relatives play. Then this year, the city said, no, we're not going to do it. I mean, we need something to really open up, the attention to the people that want to come here. Why do you want to come to Douglas? Because we have something for you for every member of your family. But right now we don't, and I think they don't see that. Yeah. They work from 9 to 5. They go home. I lectured some of them because when they get out, they'll say, "Oh, I go grocery shopping," and they told me, I see you at Walmart all the time. Can I go to Walmart? They never say hi. They're stalking. Yeah. No, they go in their car. They order it off the app, and then they put it in their car. They go home. They come back here. They go home back and come back here. Yeah. I told them, you need to get down and hear people. What do people want in the city that we don't have? What are we doing that we can, bring up the morale of the community? But I just think it's a city hall bubble that at some point it needs to pop so they can hear other opinions of what you all want to hear.
Yeah, the one reason I was really excited to do this podcast, like this episode specifically.
You look excited.
Yeah, it's because you're like a councilman, and like obviously a lot of people I know are gonna watch this, and hopefully it can like spark something. That's why I'm really excited for this episode because like mainly like the demographic of the people who watch are like my age and mainly around Douglas. So I hope like this podcast, this episode especially, it can like it's gonna start something. Where like everything that you're saying, because like I do agree with it. Like something has to change because there's so much, and I hate it too because there's so much history here in Douglas that it's like sometimes I'll learn a new fact or something. I'm like, oh my god, like how is this like now like known like across America or something? Like one of the facts I knew was like one of the facts about Douglas is like I think we are the only town to have like the 4 churches on a block. I don't know. I think we're the only ones. I'm not sure.
And first international airport?
Really?
Yeah.
The first international airport? Really?
I never heard about that.
Really?
Pancho Villa. I mean, the war. I mean, all this stuff.
There's so much history where
the drug tunnel. That's one thing they don't like to talk about. But I mean, it's they look at it as controversial. I look at it's history.
I look at it. Yeah, I look at it like this is amazing. Why don't we like
it's something to pay attention to?
That could probably like how you were saying like our vibe. That could be our vibe. Like history. You come here to learn about like this crazy town that's had so much history and so much like, you know, like from the Gadsden that alone has so much history to like just like so many businesses, so many here, like so many things here have so much history, and like we have so many facts that we're like the first of whatever, and it's like crazy because like
Nobody knows.
nobody knows, like nobody knows about us.
And you know, I get like you guys. There'll be people that'll tell me, you know, like back in my day when I was in Douglas, when I went to school, you know, segregation. We had segregation here. There was a certain town for a certain colored and another certain color. I mean, that's something that we don't talk about here. I've always thought, well, it was always a Hispanic town. It was always, you know, the Mexican culture, Mexican family.
Hispanic town.
Yeah. But I mean, there's so much history that we haven't tapped in, like how you all are saying. That could bring more people down here. You know, they want to go see.
Love history, and maybe that could be our thing. Like of Douglas, you come here, you learn about this crazy town and all its history and everything. You can continue. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's all good. I talk too much. I was noticing that.
No, well, it is the perfect time to talk too much.
Yeah, to let it all.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because like I don't know, just there needs to be more businesses. I believe in Douglas because I'd hate to see this town, you know, start to like, you know, die out. No, I would hate to see that. You know,
that's my fear, even with the port. Because we don't have housing here. So if they go and they work on the new port of entry that's 4 miles away, where are they going to stay? If they go and they stay in Bisbee or Cerro Vista, well, guess what? When they're over there, they're not going to say, I'm going to go to Douglas to shop at Walmart. Cerro Vista has Fry's. They have Walmart. They have Target. So I don't think they're thinking that sort of. Like I said, I think they have one mindset. Hey, we're going to get that. That's what we've always wanted. You know, now we're saved. That's where I sort of separate from them and thinking that's nice to have, but how are we going to get them here? How are we going to get those people here? How are we going to keep them here?
Keep them, yeah. Because like especially with whenever Food City, whenever that closed down, that was such like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. Like, and we've been able to do fine, but man, we miss it so much. Do you know whenever we're getting a new like grocery store or something?
Me personally, I want
a
Sonic? Oh, I miss Sonic.
Oh yeah, we
used to have.
Oh, dude, I whenever I think about them, I get mad because I'm just like, oh.
I would always get an ocean water with strawberries and cherries. That was my go-to. So I miss it. So when City Hall didn't even know that Food City was going to close down. I had a friend who worked there, and he messaged me on Facebook. He said, "Guess what? They said that we're closing in October."
Yeah, because fun fact, my Theo actually was like I don't know if he was the boss manager. I'm sure he was the manager. He used to be the manager over there.
Who's your Theo?
Huh?
Who's your Theo?
My Theo? Why forget his name?
Oh.
Martin.
Oh no, and Billy. I knew them. My mom worked there for many, many years. So I told the city, and at that time I told them, listen, ever since we raised. This is going to be a sidebar conversation. So when I came in, we were in the red, $250,000. The city was losing money. We put that 1 cent tax increase there. Now ever since then, we have a $2 million annual surplus.
Wow.
So when I heard that they were closing, I called the interim city manager at that time, and I also messaged the mayor, and I said, listen, if you're going to buy the building, you buy it now to see if we can keep them there. And then maybe lower the rent, whatever the incentive is. City waited 1 year. So, I mean, they were already gone. And then when we bought it, there's people that are messaging me, like, hey, somebody's coming in because they're fixing it up. Well, no, now that the city owns it, we have to fix it up per our codes and all that,
Yeah.
So as far as getting somebody in there, we voted to start negotiations with a interested party in around June. They haven't had the capital, the money to bring it in. So, like I said, I get impatient about that stuff because we have a building that's, that I don't want it to say it's going to go to waste, but who's going to set up shop there?
Yeah, and it's such a big space too, and that's the same thing with where Safeway used to be.
And the part where it's very difficult for the city is, I've had people tell me, well, just set it up for a grocery store, and then a grocery store is going to want to come in. But then you run into the problem what if a hardware store wants to come in because of the port of entry? Now you have freezers in there. Now you have a restaurant, or fridges in there. You have
and
where
you have
the,
it all ready to go,
yeah.
and then no one wants to do it, and then you have someone. Yeah.
So with me, I'm just, I just don't like those real estate properties just sitting there that we own, like ACT building that's going to be soon next month. The lease goes up. We need to do something with it. We just can't say, hey, we need to be proactive.
And
what do we need here?
Yeah, and just leave it there for like 8 years, and then
we need to be proactive.
Because I remember another thing is like the movie theater. Like I remember it was like a couple of years ago or something where we saw people working on it, and then all of a sudden just like it was closed down, and then it was like years later, and then we saw someone working on it. And maybe they're gonna fix it or whatever, and then Never happened, and it's been there, and I see it like almost every day.
And now it gets to the point where you're gonna start seeing that. You're gonna say, well, I'm not gonna get my hopes up. And I mean, that's, for me, that's the worst feeling that somebody can have.
Yeah, like that's like the feeling that we probably like. I know me and a bunch of my friends that we've like all gotten used to, where it's just like it's just gonna be just like dead in a couple weeks or something.
It's like the port. They've been wanting the port for 15 years. That's when it started. 15 years. 15 and years. We had a groundbreaking ceremony, and because we're gonna dig for a well there now, and they wanted a photo op, and I told them, we're to the point where people just want to see something done. They don't want to see pictures. They don't want to see press releases. They just want to see progress.
They just
And I think that's where the frustration of no change and all that, because people are saying, we don't want false promises anymore. We don't want you to say, oh, we're going to do this, and then you don't do it. We need to start acting on it now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, man. Like, I don't know. It's just a lot. It's just like, there's no progress on like empty buildings, or if you see a shop, and then like a couple weeks later, like, oh, they're closed down or something, and like that's sad to see, because
and we need to think outside the box too, guys.
Yeah.
And, when we wrote to Fry's and we wrote Kroger, we wrote to Bashas, Safeway, like, oh, come set up in Douglas. They're like, oh no, they don't count AP. So I mean, that's like more than 100,000 people, and how many people come in buy here, then they go and sell it on Facebook, and for double the price. But I was telling City Hall, stop writing to them, send them pictures. What about when Walmart doesn't have anything on the shelves because people from Mexico go and buy them? We need something for us. I'm not the type that complains about them buying everything, because that tax money stays here.
Yeah.
We just need more variety, more different, stores here, and we need to show them the impact that Mexico has here. Just not only tell them.
Yeah. Can you check the camera? I get anxious sometimes.
Oh yeah, it's turned off on us a couple of times.
Yeah, can you just move that little cord right there? It's still recording. It's just
sure.
There's a cord in front of the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that one right there. And can you just move it, because I can't see you, so it's making me feel like you're not.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
The whole time, just nobody was talking.
Yeah.
We just heard a voice.
Yeah, it's just I get really like, I'm just like, it's good, right? Everything's good, right?
Yeah.
We had so
for the longest time, I couldn't see myself, but I trusted it.
Okay. Yeah, you scoot. Yeah, you're good now. Okay, we're good. Okay, we're good. What were we talking about again?
I don't remember. But one of the things, we're talking about, what do we have for you all? Maybe we could do another episode, give it some time in between, so you can ask your viewers and you can ask your friends, what do you want to see in Douglas?
Because I know like my audience is mainly like, I know I get people from like wherever, like
mostly teenagers.
Yeah, mostly teenagers. I know I get people from like wherever, but the main people, like whenever I look at my analytics, and like I always see like what state, because it says the United States is like always, I always like see it, and Arizona is like the biggest one, and there's like some other ones, but Arizona is like the main one. So I'm really guessing that most of my audience is from Douglas, whether it be like whoever. So yeah.
No, I like to think outside the box, like I told you guys. December 2nd, we're going to have a wrestling event at the high school. A local wrestler, he's from Douglas, Chubby Chubb, I was going to say. He's going to kill me if he sees that. Chubby Depp is going to fight for the championship.
Uh-huh.
We also have another homegrown
Maybe
talent.
we can get him on the podcast. Uh-huh.
We can organize it.
Send everyone our way.
MBW is Michael Benjamin Wexler. Michael Sproul grew up here in Douglas. He's also going to wrestle. So, and this started with me just talking to Chubby. And he said, you know what? It'd be cool if I could wrestle in front of my family and in front of, my hometown. So let's just do it. I mean, what's stopping us? And it wasn't that expensive. So, I told the city, why don't we just have a wrestling event? I got upset because we didn't really sell that many tickets. So I told them, hey, just do it as a free, invite people, we'll give out tickets and so forth. 300 people went, which is, we had a study and it said for every 100 people, usually it's 1% per 100 of Douglas. So we had 3% go, and that's pretty high compared to the other events that we have. And one of the things that the staff told me was, when we saw the kids in the audience and the adults in the audience, we usually don't see them at other city events. So that means that we're not tapping into different groups that we have here in the city. It's always sort of like the same ones. When we have, the Dia de los Niños is great. I'm not putting it down. Trunk or treat is great, but they're all aimed for the same demographic, right? We need something for everybody. I had a block party for the first time I think ever in Douglas. We had a block party, and staff wanted it, and I might get in trouble. But, City Hall wanted to have it just like Loteria for the elderly. And I said, at the Coronado Courts, there's kids there. There's single families there. There's different variety and elderly. And what do the elderly like to do? They don't like to be around just, Loteria, it's quiet. They like to be around kids, and kids like to be around the elderly. So, it was a big old part. We had Filiberto's donate like $700 worth of food. That's how generous that something like that was.
One example of people love the new businesses was Filiberto's. Whenever that opened, that place was filled for 2 weeks.
The line went to Fifth Street
for 2 weeks straight. It was so.
And it was just a restaurant.
Yeah, it was just a restaurant.
It was a big news.
I know. Yeah.
But they donated food for it. La Fiesta donated food for it. And it went like that. And the people were excited. They stayed there. I had a juggler who juggles fire. Things with swords and all that. So, it was just something different, but it was also different where we took the entertainment to them. Because as you know, in Douglas, sometimes when it's something different, people like to wait until it becomes normal. So, I told them, I want to have it at the Coronado Courts around that demographic. And then I told staff, then tell the other council members, why aren't we having block parties in wards 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? Why aren't they doing something for their constituents, the ones that can't come to the meetings, or the ones that are homebound, or they don't have access to transportation for something late in the evening? Go to them. Think of what other people are doing.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you're saying, because the thing where you have to have something for everybody, I've been trying to live by that, because I'm trying to get into film and everything. And in high school, a lot of people already know this, that I helped start the high school's first newscast. And for one thing was, my mom always tried to, because I was in charge of my own segment called Satire. And so my mom always said, you have to have something for everyone. She lives by that. And I'm trying to live by that too, because you have to have something for everybody that's gonna appeal to everybody. You have to make jokes that are gonna be for that everyone's gonna get, or older people are gonna get, or just it's just you have to, you have to appeal to everybody. And I try to live by that,
And you bringing that up, and then you mentioned this high school. We don't have a newspaper. I saw a few years ago that they put back the what is it, the Border Bulldog. I told the city, why aren't we partnering up with them? We could, if they do the Border Bulldog, we can give them some information that we have here about events that we're doing, because people were complaining. Now that we don't have the dispatch, we were supposed to put something out in the water bill, because we made a new water bill and all this. Well, then they said we're not going to do it because it's a third party that's doing it, so the people are upset. But why aren't we partnering up with the high school? Have the students go and report, give them experience and something they love, and then partner up, and then maybe we could distribute it around town, through mail or something, But like I said, think outside the box. If we don't have a newspaper, instead of just focusing on Facebook, maybe we could mail something out where those students are gaining experience, and we're also getting information out to the public.
Because whenever we started it, we called it DHSN, like DHSN News, and whenever we started, everybody like loved it, and I think it was really because even at the high school, it was just, it was just high school, and then whenever like the newscast came in, it was like something new everybody could like look forward to like every other 2 weeks or something, and it was like people were like get excited for it, and they're still doing it, and it's and it's just I'm glad they're keeping it, but
maybe I'll reach out to them next,
yeah.
I love
you should.
doing.
I have the teachers. Yeah, you totally should.
I love doing this stuff because like I said, it gives you more information about what we're doing. We're if we're messing up somewhere, if we're missing the point somewhere, I mean that's where you can give us some of your insight. How many politicians go over there? How many do they go? So I think that's our responsibility. Yeah, people complain we don't get paid enough and not a full-time job.
Yeah.
I mean, we all knew this when we signed up for this. I'm not going to get into office and say, well, y'all aren't paying me enough. Or, why do I have to go, talk to you all? No, that's not what it's about. We signed up because we wanted to help out our community, and that includes our youth. So we should be more active on that front.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's crazy. Do you have any questions?
Not that I can think of right now.
What are you thinking right now? No, but you totally should reach out. I think they would love it if you were to reach out to the new guys and everything. I'm pretty sure they would love it. Yeah, you should.
And maybe come up with something. I mean, if they'd love to partner up with the city, I could always go talk to the school board. I know the school, I know the board, I know the district. So, I mean, those are relationships that, I mean, we should be able to work together instead of, having, because they told me one time here, we like to keep the school and the city business separate, and I mean, how can you do that? The first thing you see when you get into town at the stoplight is home of the Bulldogs, on city property, so I mean, how can we separate it?
Merge it and like, what? That doesn't make sense. Keep it separate? I don't know. I don't know about that one. But...
And then they decided to put those Bulldog banners after they told me, let's keep it separate. So now you kind of know why I make Facebook posts.
Yeah, because I saw those Bulldogs. I saw those Bulldog banners everywhere. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And they're saying they want to keep it separate.
And the separate started when the Spirit team won state. So I asked them. I'm really going to get in trouble here. I asked them to present them with a certificate here. They did it with the school board. Say that we appreciate them, and they told me, no, let's just keep it separate. So that's when I said, how can you keep it separate? So I went and bought them lunch, and we got to know them a bit.
Awesome.
So, I mean, if we're expecting them to stay, we got to know them too. We got to appreciate what they're doing. It just can't be like, you did that over there. It doesn't count here. It doesn't make sense.
No, man. We have to be as like one. We're not gonna get anywhere if we're like, all right, we'll just keep it separate. We're just like we know the high school, but we don't know them or something like that. Like,
and then we all like to say we're Bulldog, right?
Yeah, literally. Like one time we were like, me and my mom were shopping at like a JCPenney in Tucson, and I forgot. I think we were getting like a shirt for me because it was a graduation, and we're talking to this guy, and then he was like a young guy, and he was like probably like his 20, 25 or something. And he was saying, and we mentioned that, and he asked us, what high school or whatever, and we just all in Douglas. And he's like, oh, really? He's like, I'm from there too. And then all of a sudden, some dude, he's probably like in his like 60s or something. And we were like, I forgot what happened. And then I think one of us dropped something and he picked it up and he was like, oh, yeah, I got a help a fellow Bulldog or something. And we're like, what? Like, what? Like, how? Like, it's like,
you meet more people from Douglas out of the city than here.
We're everywhere or something. It was just kind of like a cool little thing.
Imagine if they all stayed here. I mean, that's going back to the point, right?
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder what the population would be if everyone that left Douglas would have stayed here.
And if we count Porterville and Bay Acres, I mean, that's another few hundred too, so.
Mm-hmm. I've never gotten that. Porterville. I've always been like You guys are still Douglas.
Well, the city wanted to annex them, and they said no. So Bay Acres said no. They voted no. I mean, one of the big things is, when you build businesses out there, you don't get charged a sales tax here.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason they set up over there is because of that. And I talked to a business owner in Bay Acres, and I told them, then why is the city trying to incentivize you to be part of the city? Grandfather you in and not charging you sales tax. If we could do that, then why aren't we doing it? We're going to get money from the property tax there.
Mm-hmm.
That's more money coming in. That's more of the population to try to incentivize more businesses to come. Because when we say Douglas, we don't tell them Porterville and Bakers because they're not part of this population. So again, we just need to be thinking outside the box, trying to get everybody. But the reason they don't want to be a part of Douglas is the city already gave them the amenities. So they have water, they have sewer. So, they're saying, well, I have all these things. Why am I going to be a part of Douglas now?
Mm-hmm.
So now we have to incentivize them to be a part of the city. And, I like I said, I think we need to talk to them and see what we can do for them instead of, us saying, we need this from you, because that's how they feel over there. Oh, you just want taxes from us. You want all money from us. What do we get from it? And I don't think that's a clear answer that the city's given them.
Mm-hmm. Because do you think in the future, Porterville and Bay Acres, they would become part, all of us, just like Douglas? Do you think that could ever happen?
I think so. It just depends with who's influencing the decisions, I guess you could say. Who's going to be the mayor at that time? Who's going to be the council at that time? Who's going to be the city manager at that time? I think there's too much of a disconnect right now to bring them on board because of the people that are here. They're just, no, I don't trust them. That's what they've told me. I talk to so-and-so and I don't trust them. So, when you don't have trust in somebody, but maybe 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line.
Yeah.
I just think that, like I said, I think the mentality here is we're Douglas. They need to be a part of Douglas because it's best for them. Yeah. When they don't think about, well, what can we do to bring them into the fold? What do they need that? What do we have that they need that we can provide for them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was asking, what do you think the future of Douglas could be? What do you think it can be, or I wrote it down, but
is there anything right now that's in the works right now?
Mm-hmm.
Any not big, but just something.
Yeah, or just something. What does the near future look like for Douglas?
Everything that we've talked about is what they're planning to do. Like I told you, I think that's more reactive. And I've told them Douglas needs to stop being reactive. When something happens, we fix it. Let's just get in front of the problem. Like I told you all, why don't we have a rec center? Why don't we have something for everybody? Why don't we, if we want a big business here, why aren't we incentivizing them? If you have so many jobs here, we'll lower your taxes. If we can lower their utilities, why don't we do that? Why aren't we giving them a reason to come here? Instead, it's, asking them, they say, no, I guess they don't want to come here.
Yeah.
It's going to be that's going to be, it's at some point it's going to boil over with the public. We need another store. We need a movie theater. We need a rec center. Why aren't you guys bringing any of that?
We need something. Yeah. Because it's just anything, really. Because all the time, whenever we're hanging out, just whatever, just sort of
it's always the same.
It's always the same thing. It's always the same thing as all right,
we going to Walmart.
Yeah, it's let's go to Dave and Buster's or something crazy like that. It's all right, let's go to Walmart. That's all we got. I really think if Walmart, hopefully never, if it ever closes down, I think that's the
downfall.
I think that's the nail in the coffin,
because you could do everything at Walmart. Before it used to be just a clothing store. Now you have a grocery store. Now you have a pharmacy.
Now you have the electronics, the toys, the clothes, the medicine. Walmart literally has everything.
But speaking about doing something, that's why I'm pushing, and hopefully you all push too. Get your friends, get family, your viewers. A rec center, because when I asked them about, let's just say the ACT building,
I've been like this for a while.
They said, I asked them, can you do indoor basketball there? Yes. Can you do? Indoor basketball you can make it into a volleyball court too, for those that like volleyball. Can you put artificial turf there? Yes, so you could play flag football or you could play soccer in there. You have classrooms. You could do something else on the rest with the rest of the building. Can you imagine all the activities that we can have there that would be inviting outside cities to have? I mean, we don't have youth basketball leagues anymore. If we could have one, kids from AP can be coming down over here. I just said my microphone just in case they hear a noise. Other type of sports, other type of activities. That's how you get people talking about Douglas. You invite them over here for something to do, and then they start coming over here instead of our people going to Mexico to play in basketball leagues over there, or in Sierra Vista, or the different type of stuff that they have over there. And the frustrating part is, if you notice that when they have sports or just activities that Sierra Vista has, it's by the city of Sierra Vista. They have those for their constituents there. When we want something here, they'll say, "Oh, well, let them do it. They can do it. We don't need to get into that."
Yeah.
I mean, who wants to come to a city like that when the perspective, when the mindset is you could do it yourself. You want to do it, well, why are you telling us to do it? When again, it's your taxpayer money that pays everybody here. That the least we could do is have something for you regularly.
Yeah, something needs to change. It's really the biggest thing about this podcast. Just something here in Douglas has to change.
That was the motivation.
Yeah. So I'm going to be switching the topic a little bit. Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's tomorrow. What's your favorite dish?
It used to actually, it was just turkey, but I love the turkey fat, like the skin. That's my favorite part. But this year, I'm making, because the turkeys were a little bit small. I think they took them off the roids because they lost all the gains. So I had to buy 2. So I'm the one that's usually gonna make the majority of the stuff this year. The 2 turkeys, stuffing, mashed potatoes, all that good stuff. So what's my favorite dish? At this point, I don't care. As long as nobody dies, getting sick, I'll take getting sick. But as long as nobody dies from Thanksgiving dinner at my house, I'm good. So I don't have favorite dishes there.
Yeah. What's your favorite dish?
I like stuffing.
Stuffing?
I love stuffing.
I've only gotten into stuffing like 2 years ago. I never tried it.
Yeah, I've always liked it, but it depends on who makes it. My tia makes awesome stuffing, but then I'll try it from somebody else, and I don't know. I don't know. It just depends.
Dude, my favorite is like green bean casserole. You ever had that?
No.
No? You ever had green bean casserole?
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
We're missing out.
Yeah. You guys are. It's like so delicious. And then my family is like, I don't know about this here. I'm like, well, screw you. I'll make it myself then.
Please.
Literally, I'm making it, and it's gonna be like a little thing. It's gonna just be for me. Do you have any traditions like Thanksgiving or anything?
No. I mean, we always just invited the family. Now it's not that many of us, but because they all moved to Tucson for a better life.
Yeah.
Traditions. No. I mean, I've as long as I have family with me, it could be one or the whole family. I'm good.
You could do Black Friday.
I already ordered today because now they don't do it. So I ordered Under Armour. I ordered more gym clothes because they were on special. So
yeah.
But no, I never. I remember they would tell me, "Okay, go to Black Friday," when it was at Walmart on Thursday, right?
Yeah, that's the same day as Thanksgiving.
And they would tell me, "No, just don't even go to buy anything. Just go for the drama because people get crazy for like a microwave and all that." And I was like,
"That's what I want to do. I want to go experience all that."
We're gonna go do it. I was so like, "Oh yeah, we can't do it like on the same day, but Friday's gonna be crazy." And I think we're gonna go on Friday just to experience it all, because I think I'm just gonna buy everything online. It's gonna probably get more.
You need to invite Oscar, the manager of Walmart, and tell him to put the groceries on special for Black Friday.
That's what we need to do. People finding like a cabbage or something. No, but my mom's crazy about Black Friday too. She'll I think she already got everything. But no, Black Friday is crazy. I never realized how crazy it was until one year. I waited in line for like almost 2 hours. Like my mom was like, "All right, wait in line here for PS4," and it was with the new Spider-Man game. It was whenever the first one came out, and I was like, "All right, I'll wait here. It's not gonna be that long." I was there for like almost 2 hours. It was that long, and whenever I finally got it, I was so proud because I'm like, I did it. I got the PS4.
Came out alive.
I came out alive. It wasn't even for me. It was for my little brother. but I,
You could have easily been a Black Friday casualty.
yeah.
It wasn't even for you.
And I just remember, I remember being in the aisles, and I just remember seeing people just run, and like you didn't see that much. It was like, oh my god. Yeah, man. Black Friday. It's crazy. Yeah, you got any questions? No. Oh no. Oh no, we get into this problem where we were just like.
Well, at least you guys loosened up because you guys were just like a city hall politician. That's why I was like, I didn't even wear pants. I mean, I'm wearing shorts. Like I'm wearing my gym clothes.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a suit guy. I'll go when I meet the governor.
I was expecting you to be in a suit. I don't know. Just like every time I hear like councilman, just like suit guy.
Suit.
Yeah.
All professional.
I know.
No,
I was expecting I wasn't expecting this room.
This is cool.
Yeah. It is awesome.
No, when I meet like dignitaries, governor, I'll wear a suit. When I went to Washington to talk to Congress about more funding, I just wore polo and dress pants. You know, I'm not a dress up kind of guy, and I think that's what I've tried to do since day one. You've had politicians here that get into office and, like how you're saying, suits when they didn't wear suits, you know. So I like to stay as I am. I don't like to change, and sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing because you kind of rub people here the wrong way.
Yeah.
Not gonna name names, but you rub people.
Yeah, because the suit, like, boom, I'm the guy with the suit.
I'm important.
Yeah.
No, there was one time where I went into a store. And I told him, anything I could do for you. That's my line. Anything I can do for you, let me know, because I mean it. I just don't want to be just a random guy going in there, and then them saying, well, he's a councilman. He never offered me help. He never talked to me. So I do that, and they told me, well, we're not used to it because they usually come in and just say, hey, I'm a councilman. Like if they're gonna want to give them a discount or something. And I was like, that's. I think we're just kind of over that phase in politics here in Douglas. People just want somebody who's like them, who doesn't change, and that will tell them the truth. And that's where I try to separate myself from the normal here.
I think that's what a lot of people just like it whenever someone's like they're real,
Yeah.
People hate fake. People hate fake. So I think that's a really good thing. Like you're just just casual, just real,
Do you work at your house, or do you go to a gym?
I go to the gyms here in downtown.
That's cool. Yeah, I've been going to Power Zone for like 3-4 years now.
I go to MC, so that's how I'm always downtown. And I'll stop and even if it's on the way, I'll talk to the businesses there. Everything okay? And that's why that small business post that you saw, I had businesses down here tell me, the city doesn't come and shop, but they want everybody else to. Yeah. And they're promoting that they're a small business. No, if we're gonna say, hey, we support small business, let's put those tax dollars back into those businesses by buying what they're selling instead of going to Amazon or the big chains. Walmart, Walmart's doing great. It doesn't need our help. We need the smaller stores, because when those smaller stores start closing, guess what? The taxes that were coming in from them aren't coming in anymore. So what's the city gonna do? Got to hire the taxes because we're losing out. That's their solution to it. So I think we need to help out as much as we can, and just be more active. So, and at the same time, if I were to come in a suit, you would have been probably like, you gotta watch what I say around. But if you see me now, and you're saying, oh, that's the guy that I had a conversation with, and he was in gym clothes, you're more comfortable coming in and talking to me about maybe some problems that you don't feel comfortable talking to administration about, or the mayor about, or other councilmen about. So that's why I'm the way I am.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. Ooh, what would you say is one of your favorite small businesses here?
What?
One of your favorite small businesses here, or just business here in Douglas
the gym. Does that count as a small business?
Oh yeah.
No, and even though I don't go to Power Zone, I know Leo, the owner. I tell him the same thing, anything I could do, and he's. One of the things I tried to fight for was entertainment tax. I don't know if you guys know that they charge businesses and also events coming in here. So when an event wants to come in here, the city basically says, you to come in here, we are going to charge you to come here, and then we're going to charge sales tax on whatever you sell. And what they also
That
did was
already, like, if I were like just me, like if I were like, oh, we could do like something in Douglas, and then we get that, we're like, how about Tucson or somewhere else?
and then you wonder why, when there's events here, why the tickets and the concession is so expensive, because we're charging the tax. So what the city did was they put the gyms under the entertainment tax. So basically, the city hall, when you go work out, it's not so you could be healthier or get in shape. It's because you want to be entertained. And I fully disagree with that. I try to eliminate the entertainment tax, but council basically said, mayor and council said, no, let's keep it because staff wants it. Yeah. Staff will never want to cut taxes because it's already into the budget. So, but I mean, that's a tax that we can cut easily, and I don't know why we haven't.
Wow, I never even knew about that. Damn, that explains a lot now. Wow, man. So they really put the gym, I guess, as like entertainment.
Yeah. So they charge a sales tax on your membership to them. That's why the membership keeps upping at times, because they have to pay tax on it. So
Power Zone is gonna go up. It's gonna be 35 at Power Zone now.
35?
Yeah.
And
I'm going to continue on my house.
And with me, I tell them, when you buy a membership there, it's not like you're getting something and taking it home. You're paying so you can.
Yeah, you can continuously.
Yeah,
but
one of the main reasons I've been in Power Zone is why, because it's like so expensive.
And there's also a loophole. I wouldn't say loophole, but the Zumbas and all them, they don't pay a sales tax. They're not under the entertainment tax because they have an instructor there. So maybe there's a way around it. I've talked to them about it, but it's just frustrating for them. And then if it goes up to 35 and they start losing members, I mean, because it's easier to work from home, or your friend has an in-home gym.
Yeah, because I'm very happy that I have a home gym. And I just usually go to Power Zone because it has a lot more equipment that I don't have at house. But now I'm just like, I can make do with my house. Yeah.
But I mean, how do we help them out? What if one of them closes? Well, what's going to be is it because they didn't run a business, or is it because we're putting more and more pressure on them when we shouldn't? I mean, my philosophy is government should be providing the necessities for you, taking care of you, police, fire, providing services like water and all that, and then getting out of your way. Instead of saying, how can we tax you more? I went, no, just we need to be getting out of people's way so then they could grow.
Good old taxes.
And I'm not against taxes. When you ask me, people ask me about political leanings. I'm independent, so I don't go by parties. But if we're going to be taxing people and individuals and businesses, we need to be putting that money back into the community. Fix the roads, fix the sidewalks, put a rec center, have more activities instead of just collecting. $2 million surplus every year. We need to be more proactive with it instead of making more jobs at City Hall.
Yeah, I thought you were getting a call. Yeah, that's really been like the big thing of this episode. Just like something needs to change in Douglas. Yeah, sorry for everyone if you don't live here in Douglas, but
you're not going to care about this one.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they don't live in Douglas, I would tell them, give us ideas. Why do you live where you live? What's appealing for you to live there?
Put it in the comments below.
Then I can put it on Facebook and get more controversy on the city.
Wow, man. Yeah, but that's been like the biggest thing of this podcast I've noticed. This episode, just like something needs to change in Douglas. Whether it's adding new businesses or just a lot.
Part of that change right now.
And I really hope that this episode can really spark something, to change or just spark something that maybe something can get going or
keep moving up too.
Yeah.
Look where we're at.
I know. Look where we're at. And that's what I hope for this podcast too. Because right now, since we're not big enough to hey, The Rock, can you come onto our podcast or something? My goal right now is to just interview people who, voices of Douglas, like you, thank you, for coming on, and that's a goal right now,
right now you're our highest guest.
Yeah, you're our highest guest by far.
Maybe one thing we could do too is if you'd have me back, I don't mind having, if you want to have a business owner here or students here, a club or something, and having like I wouldn't say it's a town hall. I don't like to call them town. I don't like having town halls. And I don't know if you saw like last year I had a pan dulce with the council, or no, coffee with the councilman, because I had pan dulce, hot chocolate, and coffee. I had it at the Coronado Courts. Anybody who wants to just come and have a conversation. So if you're open to it, maybe like a round table, do something, invite different, influential leaders, and maybe you can bounce ideas off of each other. That's why I don't like I said, I like to take myself out of the equation. What does the city want? What do the constituents want? What do younger people, teenagers, adults, and elderly want?
What do the people want?
Yeah. And if it's something, and it's not out of reach, when we talk about activities and all that. We had a survey up, a master plan survey. We paid I think 70,000. I don't know, just to ask people what they want. They want more events. So we were just talking about, they want more events, but we charge events to come here unless they're city events. Why don't we just tell them like, hey, one of my ideas, and I was talking to the representatives of the fairground, was why don't we just partner up? Why don't we get semi-famous people to come, and we could go half and half and have a concert over there, have a free concert or a very cheap concert where the majority of the people can go. That way the city's still supporting it, and it's not just them on their own, because when they have concerts over there, it's basically them paying for the artist or the band, and then they have to make the money back somewhere. If it's not in the tickets, it's alcohol sales or something.
Yeah.
So that was one of my ideas that I got the rest of council to back it up a few years ago. I talked to admin and they never went through with it. Let's have a free concert. One of my people that I told them that we should contact was Luis Coronel. I don't know if you know who he is. He's one of like the heartthrob, Mexican Hispanic singers. But he also collaborated with La Septima Banda. I said, we could bring them over here. It's not going to be that expensive. Have it at H3 Park. And then
that would be awesome.
And then invite businesses and vendors to be. That's how they make money. I don't know if you saw my post about the Diamondbacks when they're winning the World Series. We have a big screen, by the way, and I'm going to plug myself in on this one, where the big screen. I wanted to add it to the budget one year. Council said no. Mayor said no. No, we're not going to amend the budget. But what upset me about that was after they said no, they said, "Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. You just don't want to go for it." So then I had to ask the IDA, the Industrial Development Authority. They're a committee with the city, but they have their own budget. I said, it's COVID. This was during the time of COVID. People need to, they want to do something. Why don't we have a drive-in?
Yeah.
So we got the screen. Yeah. So we have a free screen that we don't have to rent. Awesome. Why didn't we use it to show a World Series game at a park? Invite everybody to tailgate. Invite business and the hot dog people to go.
It did it. Oh, we were doing so good. Sorry. We're recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
we just didn't know where we cut off on.
Yeah. It's fine. We made it. That's probably the farthest we've ever made it.
Oh yeah, it dies out on us faster than that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like at least like around the 40 minutes or something. But yeah, man, it was just crazy. I said that a lot. I don't know. I don't have any other.
I don't know
questions.
where we left off.
Yeah, I forgot.
You're gonna put that in there, right? That we were talking and then left off.
Yeah, I'll probably just leave that in.
No, yeah. Like I said, I'll come back anytime. You can do it here, your place, restaurant. You could always reserve a little spot. Yeah. Maybe tell them, hey, we'll plug your restaurant. I mean, people want to be a part of like stuff like this too. So whatever I can do to help you guys out, just let me know, and I'll keep updating you all on and your fans on what we're doing here with the city, because I think that's equally important.
Yeah. Not
just taking my word for it, on a Facebook post, but at least having a conversation of what are we doing, why are we doing it, and then if it's what you all want. Yeah. Doesn't matter what I want.
I don't have any more questions. Thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, this has been awesome.
Yeah, this is a really cool episode. Yeah, I was really excited for this one. So thank you so much, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I'll wear a suit next time.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for watching. For watching and listening. Make sure to subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Also, drink Raise.
Oh yeah.
Raise energy.
Raise energy.
Raise energy.
Rase?
Raise. Yeah.
Zero sugar.
Zero
Zero
sugar.
sugar.
Yeah, zero
Zero
sugar,
calories.
like we've said. Zero sugar, zero carbs, zero everything.
Mm-hmm.
And go to repsports.com and use code HondoBlue for 50% off every purchase.
Make sure to keep it one Hondo.
Make sure to keep it one Hondo. And thank you to Jose Grijalva for coming on. Oh yeah, I forgot to do this. Right now the floor is yours. You can promote anything or anything you got going on in your life, just wherever the floor is yours right now.
Oh God, I don't think I have enough time.
I know because we haven't had a guest in a while.
I have my political page, Jose Grijalva, Ward 6. That's where I post all my political stuff. If you don't see it there, then I reposted it to every group I'm a part of that has to do with Douglas. You'll probably see it there. The Rockstar Wrestling Alliance, December 2nd, because the city's sponsoring it. The general admission is free. So it's going to be a free event if you want to go meet the wrestlers, buy their merch, support them. But also we're going to have VIP ringside seats for $10 each. So if you want to sit ringside and get sweaty with the wrestlers and, to see, feel their pain, everybody's invited. And last year I got splashed in the corner and that was the biggest pop of the night. So maybe I get hit again to have a good time.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for watching and listening, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.